August 18th, I received this notification in my inbox. It was a video editor and thumbnail maker reaching out to me to edit for me. Then I realized something. This channel is mostly and always has been based around editing. And well, yeah, this may have been a copy-pasted message that was spammed to almost anybody. It really did make me realize something. What if I spend the next 7 days trying to edit for other people and see how much money I can make? And with that thought in my mind, I decided to just start. Alright, so before I got started, I went ahead and went on YouTube and found a couple of videos on how to actually start editing. The only social media I really use right now is YouTube, but I knew I needed to get on platforms like X and also Instagram. So after taking the advice of some of these people, I decided to get started by making a website. And this is going to attract a lot of clients and help them see my work. So I decided to use this hosting platform called WordPress.com. The problem, however, was that the site looked really unprofessional, and it even had this banner because I was using the free version. But it was a good starting point, so I decided to leave it for now. After that, I went ahead and made my X.com a lot better, and also tried to apply to Instagram and things like that. Now, the next piece of advice that I saw on multiple channels was that you need to make a show reel. Finzar himself recommended to do this, so I went ahead and started working on that on day one. I tried to include as much as I could and try to make the animation smooth. I decided to have this random beat on FL Studio over the whole project because I don't have a subscription to any of those music services like Artlist or Storyblock, so I just decided to use it, and this is how the final thing turned out.
What?
That's why he's here with me!
So now that I had those things done as well as setting up Fiverr, it was time to log off for day one and see if we get any clients. Alright, so it's day two, and I found this strategy that a lot of editors use, and I also saw on YouTube, where you basically just edit a practice edit by taking your favorite YouTubers' old videos and just repurposing them for a new one. Then just show them that finished edit, and if they like it, they might actually hire you to be their editor. So for the first one, I decided to do this podcast I actually listened to, and I tried to make it as engaging as possible for YouTube Shorts, and also TikTok. This is how the first one actually ended up turning out.
You guys ever see the Chinese factory worker safety videos? They have these 3D animated worker safety videos that are all like things that absolutely happened, and they're brutal.
I'll have to check them out.
They're all like for like a safety training video, but it's like no one would have thought of dying like this unless it actually happened. Check it out. It'll show up on your TikTok feed if you say it out loud a few times.
That was a good one, Tugger.
Yeah, I know. That's why I said it. Okay, the next
Alright, so that was the first sample, and I also made this other one as well, but it is kind of goofy.
How to safely listen to Taylor Swift. Version 2. Step 1. Step 2. Now it's...
But overall, those practice edits were actually a really good use of time. The podcast one got 100 views on X, and it did actually end up doing well on YouTube as well, on my alt. And as for Instagram, I think I'm shadow banned on there because it got 0 views and 0 engagement. This is on Sunday, so I didn't have as much time for the rest of the week. On day 2, I also sent out a whole bunch of emails and DMs on Instagram as well. My Instagram account actually got taken down, and on X, I couldn't really DM anyone because it had the blue check. Alright, let's move on to day 3. So day 3, and I decided to actually make a really high quality sample edit. I wanted this video to not just appeal to the creator of the original video, but also anybody looking for an editor. I decided to re-edit this Thomas Milligan short, as it is something that is very easy to think of graphics for. Alright, so I gotta get all the images that I need to actually make the edit, so let's go ahead and do that. Alright, so now we're gonna make a little sample edit, so let's see if we can actually get it done today. Honestly, this is my first time ever doing one of these type of edits, so my workflow is actually really slow. Anyways, here's how the final comparison turned out.
Have you ever wondered if dogs experience time the same way that humans do? Time is a really interesting concept because a lot of the ways that we understand time is just a human construct. It's hard to imagine how different our perception of time would be if we never knew the concept of weekdays, months, years, etc. Also, dogs don't experience time in the same linear fashion that humans do. For you and I, when we think back to something, we place it on a chronological timeline. This is what I had for dinner yesterday. This is when I graduated high school. We place everything in our own timeline of events. Dogs, on the other hand, rely on associative memory. They rely more on the memory of how things made them feel instead of when the last time they did or saw something was.
Overall, this video did end up flopping though, as on Twitter only got like 60 views. YouTube got like 500 views. And yeah, this was like about 2 or 3 hours of work. And yeah, at this point I was starting to lose a little bit of motivation, but let's keep going. I added that edit to the site and I also emailed it to the YouTuber. On day 4, we had no responses on any of the emails at all. So I went ahead with a follow-up on all the emails. But I didn't have much time on day 4. So I decided to post a lot of my stuff on TikTok now, as well as start working on this new edit. I was going to copy paste the Wikipedia script into 11 Labs and then generate a script that I could use to just edit over and practice my editing. My aim was to make this like actually really high quality, so I decided to spend a lot of time on this one. But yeah, I just got started today. Alright, let's move on to day 5. Alright, so it's day 5 and time is really running out on this challenge. We didn't get any clients today, so that's actually pretty bad. But I continue working on that little helicopter documentary thing I was doing with the Wikipedia script. I literally got to like 90% of the way there, but I didn't have any time to put like that polishing touch on it. So we're gonna have to post that tomorrow. I also decided to post some more stuff on TikTok as well, but I also think I'm shadow banned there. Honestly, this is kind of the reality when you're starting a new social media and then just trying to build it up after only like 7 days of having the account. I think the algorithms within them just make sure that people aren't botting the platform, so they decide to suppress the like newer channels. Since we were running out of time on the challenge, I decided to go to my next resort, YT Jobs. And from all the sources I can tell is that you need to have a good portfolio to go into YT Jobs, as almost everybody applies on there. So knowing that I didn't have much of a chance, I still decided to spend like most of this day setting up my YT Jobs account, just applying for like 50 different jobs. And yeah, and long story short, this did not work. Even after the challenge, no one responded in the YT Jobs thing, so yeah, I don't think it's a working method. We're at the 5-day mark and still no interaction yet, so we have to hope that we're actually gonna get a client soon. But so far, it's not that good. Alright, so it's the second to last day at this point, so it's about time we find a client. If we can at least get one client by the end of the week, we're gonna actually be good. So let's see. Alright, so we finished that one helicopter edit that we were doing for the past 2 days, and this is like lots of hours of work put together. This is the most highly edited chore I've ever made. And let's post it. Hopefully it actually does well on all these platforms.
The MiL-Me-8 is a medium twin-turbine helicopter, originally designed by the TS-Agi in the 1960s and introduced into the Soviet Air Force in 1968. The Mi-8 is the world's most produced helicopter, with over 17,000 units used by over 50 countries. As of 2015, when combined with the related MiL-Me-17, the two helicopters are the third most common operational military aircraft in the world. The Mi-8 family of helicopters became the main Soviet and later Russian helicopter, covering a large range of roles in both peacetime and wartime.
And for the results of this video, yeah, it didn't actually do that well. It got 60 views on X and quite literally 1 like. So yeah, I guess we're making progress from 0, but yeah, this is not looking good. And this is literally one of my max effort edits. Like, I've literally not made a better like YouTube short than this. So yeah, I don't think we're gonna get a client at the end of this week, but we still have to hope. Alright, so this is the final day of the challenge. And honestly, at this point, time was pretty much up. But I still wanted to do more. I decided now that I put my best work out there on X, it was time to start interacting with the platform more, as that was something I was not doing on the other days. I ended up getting a couple followers and also reaching out to a lot of people. Also ended up re-uploading that video I made yesterday, but as a different version with like the timeline at the bottom and the actual edit at the top left. Overall, the edit was pretty good and I think it's one of my best edits, but obviously no one hired me from it. I also saw this other tutorial on a different website platform, so I decided to revamp my website and put it on this website thing called card.co. This website looked a lot better, but it was a pretty popular template, so I think people would recognize it, but for now I'm just gonna leave it. And yeah, that's it. Editing for 7 days straight. What did I get? Well, no clients, but we're gonna see what happens in the future. Let me know if you guys want me to continue this series and do something different, like maybe editing commercials or editing for businesses. Anyways, thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.